the sensation is so elusive that while they admit it's injurious, they, and I always think it should say, they cannot stop it anyway, or they can't stop after a few drinks, or they can't quit when it is hurting them. It should say something like that, but it doesn't. It says they cannot differentiate the true from the false.
Welcome to Aloha Speaks, home of Malama Aloha Pono with Alexander Noman.
Aloha, Alex here. And sometimes it hits me what audacity it takes to do these videos. And the original topic was going to be about the rarity, when the value, when something is rare, how it gives it value, and it still ties into the topic of layers upon layers, because that it requires time to go through the layers. The parenthesis says of the onion, which of course is a metaphor. There's a slash bullseye. I'm thinking of the layers of the onion. It's like, onion? Yuck. But there's this core of the onion. And for me, I like the center, the core. There's a difference between center. There can be between center and core, because, and when I use bullseye, the Malama Aloha Pono diagram is a two-dimensional. So there's the bullseye. If there's no bullseye, it's all pie. But there is a bullseye because it's segment 6. I call that the bullseye. Self-love. The core of the onion is the bullseye. And it's sweet. It's sweet to me. And what's the metaphor for that sweetness? Even in the 12 steps. The bullseye in the 12 steps to me is that step 11. Maybe people will say, oh, it's step 12. That carry the message to the alcoholic who still suffers and practice these principles on all our affairs. That, to me, that's the loop. That's what keeps me healing. But the peace is the sweetness. The inspiration was this person who said, because it's true for me, it's like, I heard the quote, I want to be intellectually stimulated. This is about recovery. I want it to be fresh. I want it to be different. Not the same old thing all the time. And the exact quote was, I want to be intellectually stimulated. And it just hit me because, I mean, yeah, me too, right? But a red flag went up for me on that, because in the time, at the same time, there was someone else who announced, and it sounded like I have 12 years sober. Now, I am just started my 14th year. I had 10 years sober back in 1984 to 1994. So it's like after I got past 10 years, it's like, whoa, I couldn't even believe it. It's like, I couldn't even believe it when I had got 1 year. But it's like, whoa, I know there's no guarantee. But this person didn't say have, because right after said, I went out and now I have 71 days. So I'm relating to both of these people, and I'm like, oh my goodness. There are no guarantees. I have no assumption. And what I have in my notes right here is my number 2 note is quitting the substance, whatever it is the substance is, because I have multiple addiction issues. Quitting that substance that's not the issue. Quitting. It's staying stopped. Because I've never had a problem quitting. Stay. I'm going to quit. I'll quit for 30 days, and 2 days later, back to whatever it is. I have made no bones. I don't talk about it much because I don't know how it's taken. That I was going to regular Sexaholics Anonymous meetings. Back in those days, in the 80s, it was hardcore. They since have gotten SLAA, Sex and Love Addicts Anonymous, and I haven't attended as much as I've observed. They're softer. They're not as hardcore. But I have experience in the recovery field of sex addiction. This issue of lust, I back up in the top here in my red. Lust, I have center is different than core. Well, lust is different than love. It doesn't change that I confuse them. But in many ways, because lust is greed. It's a for me, I'm clear that it is a bodily greed for something, and it can be sex, but it can be other things. It can be a lust for alcohol, a lust for drugs. It's a craving. It's that craving for something. It can be a lust for money, greed. It's a physical thing. I love alcohol. Cigarettes. I have said it. I love cigarettes. I'm not ever going to stop them. It took me till 2019. I mean, that's 7 years ago. I'm coming up. Oh, I just passed it 16 days ago. I passed my 7th year off of cigarettes. But I said prior to that, I'm not going to stop because I love cigarettes. It was lust because of that physical craving. But way back in the beginning of the book, it says men and women, and I'm sure should say people, because there are people who identify as otherwise. It doesn't make a difference what the gender, people, men and women, drink. And the drink can be whatever, drink essentially because they like the effects produced by alcohol, it says, or it can be whatever it is. The sensation is so elusive. This is on page XXVIII in the book of Alcoholics Anonymous. The sensation is so elusive that while they admit it's injurious, they, and I always think it should say, they cannot stop it anyway, or they can't stop after a few drinks, or they can't quit when it is hurting them. should say something like that, but it doesn't. It says they cannot differentiate the true from the false. This is Dr. Silkworth saying this, the guy who worked on tens of thousands, 20s of thousands as an MD. They cannot differentiate the true from the false. That's the common denominator of alcoholics, of addicts. It's about that. So I'm confusing, not differentiating the true from the false, that love, because in the staying, stopped, it takes the layers upon layers of the onion. What is the layers? Because I have the word strange. It's strange to find out. To me, it's strange to find out. Because why? I'm not going to get into why. Because I'm thick-headed, or the ego is so inflated. Whatever. It doesn't change that it's strange to me to find out that the staying stopped part is connected to consciousness, to being conscious, which has nothing to do with the intellect. And the way that conscious, they call it conscious contact. They get into a lot of in religion, but it's not religion. It's consciousness, because the consciousness is what is where the peace, which is the love, and that is where the power is that is given innately, and why it is appreciated and valued. What when I talk about Prem Rawat at premrawat.com, that it's not intellectual, that it's something completely different in his peak course, Peace, Education, and Knowledge, that gives a practical, real experience, because it's an experience, not because there's still I want to be intellectually stimulated, because that's where all my time is spent. So yeah. That's where the lie is. It's not helping. The intellectual stimulation is not helping. It's hurting. So I am the one who has to be real with myself, because in reality, I don't want to quit. I want to stay stopped, because of the value of that peace that already is inside. Years of layers. That's where the time comes in of segment 3, doing that self-assessment, that personal assessment, or in 12th step, the 10th step that is on page 67 in the 4th step. It's still the inventory. They call it the inventory. Those questions, those 4 questions that lead to the 5th, where am I to blame? Because it's all about that blame game. No, I want it to be about something else. It's always the same, and the peace is the same. The same beauty, the same feeling. Aloha.